Good morning. This is going to be my Leo video. I hope you guys had a good week last week. My energy's still a little low. I've had a lot change, a lot happen over the past couple weeks. I'm pretty drained. I'm sleeping every chance that I get. But I did want to get these videos done today. So I am using my Oceanic Tarot deck. These are my mermaids. I love them. They're kind of go along with my channel too. So I'll pull these and I'll pull clarifiers as I go. If you would like to have a personal reading, they're $30 right now, and you can find my email in the description of the video if you would like to do that. So I see you've had some changes too since the last time I did a Leo video. Looks like we've got some completions, some endings, some new cycles. I love this deck because it's so specific. It's too many. Only one more. One more. And it gave me two more. Those two were just determined to come out. So we have one card more than what I usually use. And that's all right. Because it was determined to come out. I feel like that one's trying to come out. Said pregnancy. We're going to see if it comes back out again. Someone pregnant? Someone's trying to get pregnant? Well, if so, you are pregnant. See where it went. Let's see where it went, but now I'm kind of guided. Didn't resonate with me at first. Pregnancy, but I'm going to go ahead and read it because I feel like it's for somebody. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, victory. So this is a brand new mental start. I do feel very strongly that you have cleared out a lot of the patterns and the self-limiting beliefs that you've had. Really, all you have to do is just shine light on those things. Shining light on them is enough. Because once you're aware of a pattern, from now on, like whenever something comes up, you can be like the observer of your thoughts and be like, there's that thing that I do. You know, so since you're conscious of it, that's all it takes is bringing it into your consciousness, because basically anything that is not your thoughts is your consciousness or your soul. Your thoughts are your ego. And so you have to learn how to be the observer, like the third-party observer of your thoughts. And that is how you connect your soul, because that is how you see your soul for the first time. You're like, oh, so my consciousness is my soul. Whatever I'm conscious of is my soul. Whatever I'm not conscious of is my ego. And it's usually my thoughts that are running wild in my head and creating all these different scenarios. So I do feel like, you know, you have cleared a lot of patterns just by becoming consciously aware of them. And with that being said, now you're able to manifest so many things into your life because you're not on that autopilot now. You're actually conscious, and consciousness is key. We have this pregnancy card. The birth of a child brings good blessings to you in the world. So if you are trying to get pregnant, or if you feel like you're pregnant, you are pregnant. This can also mean giving birth to your desires. And these are your desires, your intentions. But be very careful about desires, because desires can be very tricky. Because when we desire something, we're telling ourselves we don't have something, that we're lacking in some kind of way. Well, the soul is complete and perfect on its own, and we're never lacking anything. So make sure that your desires are not something to where you're chasing something outside of yourself to complete you. Make sure that your desires align with your soul's desire, your soul's purpose, something that will make you, I don't want to say complete you or make you happy, something that will add to your existence, add to it. Make sure your desires aren't something that you feel like are you need to complete you with, or that if they would be if you would manifest it, it could be taken away and you would be back to ground zero of feeling like you have this hole or this void. So be very careful of your desires, because desires can be from the ego. A lot of times we start wanting to have success and fame. And we want to have success and fame because, we're not being present. We're focused on the future. If in the future will be so much better because we will have this, and this, and we will feel so much better because we will have accomplished so much. And then when you get to the future and you're there, you're like, man, I'm still feeling like this isn't enough. So then you're focused on the future again. Well, I know I will have a better future if I can just get this, or this. And it's never ending. It's like a monster that just never gets fed. And not only is it a monster that never gets fed, but you waste so much of your life that way. Being focused on the future, like the future is always going to be better. Well, what about the here and now? Start living day by day. That message just came up. Do some research. You need more information about the situation. Look into it before proceeding. So basically, this is that energy I was getting. Like, check your intentions. Check in with yourself. This research is inner. Like, check in with yourself. Do an energy check and see exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish and why. Check your intentions. Because if your intentions are not to be, be happy and focused and grateful in the present moment, and whatever comes along will add to that, will be perfect. And you don't need anything else outside of yourself to make you happy, because you're so happy and so peaceful and blissful and content and grateful for the current, the now, the present moment. We have the death transformation. So I do feel like, and with this being the Ace of Swords, this is a new beginning. So you ended out a cycle, a mental conflict cycle. And I feel like this happened because something ended. Possibly a relationship or a job came to an abrupt end. And so you were really forced to face that aspect of yourself, and really forced to face the cycles that you have been in. But be very careful not to transfer that energy to this new cycle that you're in. I know I tend to get obsessed and addicted to things. And once I clear that addiction, I'm like, okay, I'm no longer addicted to that. I'm no longer obsessed with that. I transfer it to something else. So then it starts all over again. Be very careful not to do that. Be very mindful of things that you do. And at the same time, accept and love that about yourself, because that's the key to change. Be like, you know what? I realize, I get all obsessive and get all kooky about things, or whatever yours is. That's mine. You know what? I still love and accept that about myself, because that is how you learn to truly love yourself. People are always talking about self-love, like love yourself more, but nobody tells you how to do it. It's not trying to change yourself. It's by accepting yourself exactly the way that you are. Flaws and all. Because after all, if you don't do it, who will? To clarify that death card, we have discipline, training, consistency, practice, and I swear almost every sign's gotten this card this week. And what I'm getting, the energy with this card for you, Leo, is that mindfulness will become like second nature. Remember I said be the observer of your thoughts? Really check in with yourself. It's going to become second nature, where you'll stop yourself and be like, oh, that's that thing that I do. Really try to learn to be more present in the current moment. And how do you learn to be more present in the current moment? By putting your all into whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing. A lot of times, we'll have a chore around the house we don't like doing. And, if we clean the house, we'll put on some music so we don't have to think about it. And before you know it, we got music going. We got a million thoughts going on in our head. And, you're not paying attention. I know sometimes I'll take the cap off to the cleaner and leave it somewhere and have no idea where the hell I put it. It's because you're not being present enough. And even though, like, for example, cleaning the house is very unpleasant, do put your all into it. Be the best you can be at whatever activity you're doing, because this is how you're learning to be present in the current moment and how you're releasing that overthinking, that need to control, that need to control. A lot of times we want to know everything. Even if it's something we've learned it and we're like, God, I wish I didn't know that. But it gives us a certain sense of control just to know it, because the unknowing can be so frightening. We don't need to know everything. We have the Ten of Cups, completion. So I do feel like this death card, this death and transformation, had to do with the ending of a relationship, because this is the completion of a cycle. And I feel like the ending of this relationship was a revelation to you. It was an epiphany. You're like, man, like all my relationships end up this way. Why? Why? Well, for one thing, it's the type of relationship that you're getting into. And it's also, when I say the type, I mean, it's the way you view relationships. You see it a certain way, and it's very systematic, almost with like rules and stages, and very controlling factor to this, very controlling. And you cannot control everything. Control is an illusion. Let it flow. Let go and let flow. Because when we have expectations of others, it's a very repelling energy. I know I hate to ask for anything from anyone because of that expectation I feel that they have. Especially like, for instance, I'm a woman. I would never ask a man for something just because there is an expectation then. And I feel like that is how misunderstandings happen. So be very clear about your intentions, and really check in with yourself as far as having expectations of others, as far as ways that you expect them to be in a relationship. It's your limiting views have to do with how you view other people in relationships. And I feel like this has to do with relationships you saw as a child. There are different kinds of everyone, there's not like a blueprint for a relationship. So do clear those self-limiting beliefs. I'm going to draw a Heart Oracle card. It says, only time will tell. So I do feel like you're dealing with the ending of a relationship as far as it's the completion of a cycle. and you're going to be entering a new cycle where maybe even this relationship didn't completely end. Maybe it didn't completely come to an end. Maybe it ended the way that it was because it was stagnant. It couldn't grow. It couldn't go any further. And so with that happening, now you're entering a new cycle. And I'm sensing for you that it feels a little uncomfortable because now you're in like in a foreign land. There's a message that's coming through. You've never been here before. And the message is only time will tell. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Because this temporary pause that you're experiencing right now is so that you can learn that you cannot control everything and everybody. And control is not really love anyway. It's not love. When you love people, you want them to be free. You want to be free. There's freedom in love. There's no fears in love. So really check in with your fears and what's making you feel like you have to be in control of everything. Page of Swords, gossip. So I do feel like there's, possibly even been some gossip around the relationship that you were in. Maybe one of you stepped out on the other one and people are, it got back to the other party and there's a lot of gossip around it. And, it's so hard nowadays because everything's on social media. This is why I really don't like social media relationships. The first thing people want to do when they get into into a relationship is we got to go public. We want everyone to know we're together. Let's just put it out there. And before you know it, everywhere you go, you're tagging each other. Oh, we're here, we're there. And then, when something goes wrong, like let's say, for example, your mistakes are broadcast. See, this is why I don't like social media, because if I'm seeing somebody, I don't want anyone to know because I don't want anyone to be able to come to me and tell me anything. I know that sounds bad. I know people want to know. I used to want to know, like, come tell me. You see some shit, here's some shit, come tell me. Now I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. If there is something going on, I would rather that person come and tell me. I don't want to have to hear it from someone else. I don't want everyone to know my heartache and pain. So it's very hard nowadays, and I have said this before, back in like the 80s, 90s, you had a breakup, you could walk away, you never talk to that person again. I live in kind of a small town, so you might run into people, it'll happen, but for the most part, you can kind of avoid the areas where they might be in and never have to see them again. Every now and then you might talk to someone and be like, so-and-so's doing, this, that, or whatever else. But it's not like it is now. It's really, really hard to break up in this social media age. It's really, really hard. And that's what makes it so hard. You see shit and you're like, God, it's always in your face. I had to block like 30, 40 people. Like, don't tell me anything. I'm literally trying to make a clean break. Or I'll shut my whole page down entirely. Just to get away from it. The trickster, deceit, betrayal, guile. Okay, so maybe somebody has deceived you. They presented themselves one kind of way. And then you found out through this gossip, someone came to you and told you, look, this person is not who you thought they were. They're out here doing this, that, or whatever else. And what I'm getting is that possibly this was the first time you actually let your guard down. And now you're like, man, I can't trust anybody. I'm done. And I get it. But sometimes you have to go into that hermit mode for a while. Sometimes these type of situations force us to kind of go back into our little hidey hole or whatever, lick our wounds, and really deal with our shit. Really deal with our own shit. And so don't judge it. It's all being divinely guided. So even if you are feeling this, honor your feelings. Just don't believe your thoughts. You'll eventually want to come out of that hidey hole and let your guard down again. You know why? You know why you're going to want to let your guard down? Because didn't it feel so amazing to actually be truly vulnerable and intimate with somebody just once? Didn't it feel good to kind of relinquish that control and really feel something on a deeper level, not just a superficial level? And that's the reason why you'll be back. But this time right now is for you. Sorry, there's a train. I like the trains, but they sometimes mess up my video. My allergies are really, really bad. I'm going to have to take some Claritin because my nose is itching. So really use this time and don't judge it. We have the Magician manifestation. And what I'm getting is that if you really check in with yourself, did you fear this right here? Of letting your guard down, opening your heart up, and really getting close to someone and having them hurt you. Hasn't this fear been playing out your whole life? Haven't you always felt this was going to happen? And this is what kind of made you kind of cold and controlling and calculating. You manifested it. So you need to clear that shit. You need to clear it because your very fear itself manifested into the one thing that you did not want. Desert Vision Quest. So basically what I'm getting here with the desert is very hard to grow things because the conditions aren't right. You know, outside of cacti or whatever, you really can't grow things on a desert because the conditions are not right. So basically what I'm getting is the conditions. These were the conditions that you had, was that monkey mind, that those fears that were playing out, those cycles that you've been stuck in that you have not cleared, you have not faced that shit. And so it was always kind of playing in the background. So you were trying to, grow this relationship, this healthy relationship, but the conditions were not there yet. But don't judge it, because aren't you one step closer to that now? Aren't you aware? Haven't you completed these cycles? And aren't you one step closer to having what you want, what you truly want? So don't judge what's happening right now. We have the Hermit contemplation. So this is definitely the energy that you're in right now. And this is perfect. It's perfect. Take that time out to really focus on yourself and really get to know yourself on a soul level. And how do you connect your soul? By letting your soul be the observer of your thoughts. That is your pure consciousness. That observer is your soul, your pure consciousness, and that is how you connect with it. Oneness is my true nature. And by realizing you are connected to everything on this planet, we all are one consciousness. Really try to resonate with that. I know I'm in a period of pause right now where I'm taking time for myself. And I've almost become obsessed with self-growth and soul expansion. Like, that is my obsession right now. I said that I always transfer obsessions and addictions. Well, this is mine right now, is me. And I'm not so sure that's so bad. So I have been learning about the oneness of the collective human consciousness. And it is amazing. Make this your focus. Learn about yourself. Learn about the universe. Because once you improve your inward condition, everything on the outside will improve as well. Strength and stability. You're strong enough to do this. You are strong enough. But your viewpoint of being strong is kind of twisted, because you feel like being strong is not showing your emotions, not breaking down and crying, not letting another person in and really see how you feel, like really feel your feelings. That is true strength. It's not rejecting your feelings. It's not putting on a front for others. That is not true strength. I'm being guided to pull one more Heart Oracle card. And then I'll pull a postcard Oracle. It says soulmates. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. So try to work on your own inner union, blending your own inner masculine and inner feminine, your own yin and yang, and make your own self-growth your priority. Make that your obsession right now, and everything else will fall into place. Sorry, my dog's making all kinds of noise. It's really hard for me to make videos because it's so very loud around here. Dearest you, you'll have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures. Be present. Remember I was talking about listen. Your destiny is to be present in all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are paradoxically one with the world, individual yet part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying to you, you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul, check in with spirit, keep going. Spirit loves you, life loves you, we love you. Wow, that was amazing. Well, thank you so much for watching. And like I said, if you'd like to have a personal reading, you can do so by messaging me on my email address. Thank you.